नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्ति मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्रीनितिलकृतकस्तूरीतिलकः स्फुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितगडिगोपीनवसनः तदा नो दुष्टारं चिरसि फणिराजं शशिकलां प्रदीपः सर्वेषाम् अरुणगिरियोगी विजयते। ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवहुतो तेषवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः। या तैषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्याया तपतया नो रुद्रमृडया। या ते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी। नस्तनुवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ता विजाकशीः यामिषं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिवर्षस्त शिवां गिरिद्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत्। शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्चावधामसि यदा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मकुं सुमनासद्। अद्य वोचदधि भक्ताः प्रथमो देव्योऽभिषक् अहीगश्च सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः। असो यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुस्सु मङ्गलः। ये चेमागुं रुद्राभितो दिक्षु श्रुता सहस्रशो वैशाखुं हेडयीमहे। असौव्यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपादृशन्नदृशन्नुतहार्यः। उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मयातिनः। नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे। अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वा नो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः। प्रमुञ्च तन्मनस्त्वमुभयोराग्नियोर्जाम् याश्च देहस्तेषवः पराता भगवो वपा। अवदत्यतनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षसते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानामुखादिवो नः सुमना भव। विज्यं धनुः कवर्दिनो विशल्यो भारभागुं मुता अने सन्नस्येष वाभुरस्य निषङ्गति। या ते तिर्मीडुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वदस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुज। नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नादताय दृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुदते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने। मरिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वदः। अथो यैषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्देहितं शम्भवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय नित्यानन्दाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ गन्धद्वारां दुरादर्शां नित्यपुष्टां करीषिणीं ईश्वरीं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपभये श्रियम्। दशांगं गुग्गुलोपेतं सुगन्धं च मनोहरम् आग्रये सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं मृदिगृह्यताम्। ओं भां ओं शिवाय नमः। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाग्रापयामि। ओम उद्दीप्य सुजातवे जीवनं चितिशोदश मानोहिकं सीर्जातवेदो कामस्वं पुरुषं जगते अभिद्रदग्नागैः श्याम परिपातया ओम हाम ओम शिवाय नमः श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर नमः दीपं दर्शयामि ओम बम अमृते अमृतोद्भवे अमृतवर्षिणि अमृतं श्रावे श्रावे स्वाहा ओम हाम ओम शिवाय नमः श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि नैवेद्यानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि ओम सोमो वाये तस्य राज्यमादत्ते यो राजासन् राज्यो वासो मे नेचते देवसुवा मेधानि हवीकुं सिभवन्ति एतावन्तो वै देवानागुं सभाः देवास्मै सभान् प्रयच्छन्ति तेन पुनः सुमन्ते राज्याय देवसुराजा भवति ओम हाम ओम शिवाय नमः श्री पराशक्ति समेत श्री नमः नीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षां धारयामि
அகிலம் ஆளும் கீர்த்தியுடை ஈசன் நித்யானந்தன் புண்ணிய சேத்திரம் தனிலே நித்யன் உன்னத நீலை உலத்தில் வருமே விண்ணவர் மன்னவர் ஒப்ப அகிலம் ஆளும் ஈசன் நித்யானந்தன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். முப்புரி நூலை தரித்தவன் ஐயன் வேதியன் வெந்நீர் பூசிய நித்யன் அண்டத்தின் மூல காரணன் முடிவற்ற ஆனந்தத்தை தொண்டற்கருள்வான். முப்புரி நூலை தரித்தவன் ஐயன் வேதியன் வெந்நீர் பூசிய நித்யன் அண்டத்தின் மூல காரணன் முடிவற்ற ஆனந்தத்தை தொண்டற்கருள்வான். அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். பேரறிவு பொருள் நித்யன் உலகாளும் ஊரை மன்னவர் கழித்தவன். அர்த்தநாரீஸ்வரனாக அருள் செய்திட்டே எம்மை ஆட்டுண்டிடும் நித்யன். பேரறிவு பொருள் நித்யன் உலகாளும் ஊரை மன்னவர் கழித்தவன். அர்த்தநாரீஸ்வரனாக அருள் செய்திட்டே எம்மை ஆட்டுண்டிடும் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். பிறவி பிறவியாய் தேவர்கள் பரம்பொருளான பரமனையை தேட ஈசன் பிறவாமல் ஆட்கொண்டு எம்மை ஒரு தத்துவம் தன்னை உரைத்திட நித்யனாய். பிறவி பிறவியாய் தேவர்கள் பரம்பொருளான பரமனையை தேட ஈசன் பிறவாமல் ஆட்கொண்டு எம்மை ஒரு தத்துவம் தன்னை உரைத்திட நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். எண்ணிலா வடிவமுடையவன் என்னும் எண்ணம் கடந்த முதற் பொருளானவன். பிறவி எடுத்தே சலிக்க அருள் தாகத்தை தீர்த்தன் வினைகள் களைந்தான். எண்ணிலா வடிவமுடையவன் என்னும் எண்ணம் கடந்த முதற் பொருளானவன். பிறவி எடுத்தே சலிக்க அருள் தாகத்தை தீர்த்தன் வினைகள் களைந்தான். அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். ஆனந்தமாய் என்னுள் நித்யன் முக்தி மார்க்கத்தை காட்டி விட்டிருந்தருள்வான். மாலையன் காணாத சோதியன் தெளித்தேனாயே நித்திட ஞானம் அருள்வான். ஆனந்தமாய் என்னுள் நித்யன் முக்தி மார்க்கத்தை காட்டி விட்டிருந்தருள்வான். மாலையன் காணாத சோதியன் தெளித்தேனாயே நித்திட ஞானம் அருள்வான். அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டார். ஈசன் முக்தி நெறி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். வெற்றி குதிரை ஏதியே அடியார்கள் கூரைகளை ஏற்கின்ற நித்யன் சூழும் உறவினரோடு வந்த பாசந்தானை யாரு தேயம்மை காப்பான். வெற்றி குதிரை ஏறியே அடியார்கள் கூரைகளை ஏற்கின்ற நித்யன் சூழும் உறவினரோடு வந்த பாசம் தானை யாரு தேயம்மை காப்பான். அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோக
न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भाण्डुघटो योग्निः त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपाधूर्ध्वोदेत् पुरुषः पादोऽस्येहा भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामते शासनानशने अभि तस्मात् विराड जायत विराजो अधिपुरुषः स जातो अच्छरिच्यत चन्द्रमावापां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् वृजावान् वसुमान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति। पुरोहितं यज्ञस्य देवं ऋत्विजं होतारं रत्नधातामं हरिः ॐ हरिः ॐ। एतत् सामगायन्नास्ते सर्वतन्त्रस्वरूपाय ब्रह्मरुद्रावतारिणे नीलकण्ठाय पार्वतीमनोहराय सोमसूर्याग्निलोचनाय भस्मोद्धूलितविग्रहाय महामणिमुकुटधारणाय माणिक्यभूषणाय सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयावताराय दंशाध्वरध्वंसकाय महाकालभेदनाय मूलाधारैकनिलयाय ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द शिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasannidhanam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda.
மாலை சாற்றினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி, மாலை சாற்றினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி. ஆனந்தேசன் பொன் கழுத்தில் அன்பினோடு தேவியும், ஆனந்தேசன் பொன் கழுத்தில் அன்பினோடு தேவியும். வையகம் காத்திடும் மாமலர் கரத்தினார், வையகம் காத்திடும் மாமலர் கரத்தினார். மாலை சாற்றினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி, மாலை சாற்றினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி. ஆனந்தேசன் பொன் கழுத்தில் அன்பினோடு தேவியும், ஆனந்தேசன் பொன் கழுத்தில் அன்பினோடு தேவியும். மாலை மாற்றினார் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரர், மாலை மாற்றினார் ஆனந்தேஸ்வரர். பாகமாய் அமர்ந்தவள் தன் பொன்மலர் கழுத்தினில், பாகமாய் அமர்ந்தவள் தன் பொன்மலர் கழுத்தினில். அண்டமும் தாங்கிடும் ஆனந்தன் கரத்தினால், அண்டமும் தாங்கிடும் ஆனந்தன் கரத்தினால். உமாலை வாங்கினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி, உமாலை வாங்கினாள் தேவி ஆனந்தேஸ்வரி. பாகமாய் அமர்ந்தவள் தன் பொன்மலர் கழுத்தினில், பாகமாய் அமர்ந்தவள் தன் பொன்மலர் கழுத்தினில். ரத்த சந்தனம் கோர்த்த சக்தி மாலையாம், ரத்த சந்தனம் கோர்த்த சக்தி மாலையாம். சக்தியோடு பக்தியும் அளிக்கும் தெய்வ மாலையாம், சக்தியோடு பக்தியும் அளிக்கும் தெய்வ மாலையாம். நித்யானந்தம் கொண்டாடியே தேவியும் கரத்தினார்.
नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वं नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वं तपोयज्ञदानादिभिः शुद्धबुद्धिर्विरक्तो नृपादे पदे तुच्छबुद्ध्या परित्यज्य सर्वं यदाप्नोति तत्त्वं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि तपोयज्ञदानादिभिः शुद्धबुद्धिर्विरक्तो नृपादे पदे तुच्छबुद्ध्या परित्यज्य सर्वं यदाप्नोति तत्त्वं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वं नित्यं नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वम् दयालुं गुरुं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं प्रशान्तं समाराध्य मध्य विचार्य स्वरूपं यदाप्नोति तत्त्वं निदिध्यास्य विद्वान् परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि। दयालुं गुरुं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं प्रशान्तं समाराध्य मध्य विचार्य स्वरूपं यदाप्नोति तत्त्वं निदिध्यास्य विद्वान् परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि। नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वं नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं स्वर्ण सूर्य प्रभैवाहनम् मरुकैयिल अभयं तिरुकाट्सी उदयं नित्यानन्दं तोन्रिडुम् इदु स्वर्ण सूर्य प्रभैवाहनम् पल कोडि इदळ पूत्तिडुम् मलराय ओळिरुम् नित्यं तिरुमुखम् कரம் தாங்கும் திருச்சூலமோ பிடி நீங்க அருள் செய்திடும்
bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nithyananda, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you who are sitting with us here today, watching Nithyananda TV, KAILASA's official TV channel. Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, has taken up the enormous responsibility of reviving and protecting Hinduism by creating the only Hindu nation, Sri KAILASA. Reviving Hinduism, protecting the ancient customs, opening up a space to allow all the ancient practices, ancient rituals, giving a platform for all of this. This is one of Swamiji's greatest contributions towards Hinduism. One of these practices is the Vakyatasatas, where the spiritual truths, the powerful cognitions, various topics pertain towards Hinduism, all these are debated about. The Vada Prativada is done, where everyone sits and has the open discussion about how it should be done, in what way it should be done, debating the goods and bads about it. When the Vakyatasatas happens, it is like churning, and it's like the digestion process of any spiritual truth. Beautifully, Swamiji says that when he gives the satsang, just hearing and listening to the satsang is not enough. Only when you do the Vakyatasatas, do the digestion of the truth and have the essence of it being absorbed by our system, only then the true purpose of that understanding that spiritual truth happens to us. As part of the revival of the Sri KAILASA nation and Hinduism, Swamiji has introduced the Vakyatasatas to all of us, an important aspect unique only to Hinduism. As I said before, listening to the truth alone is not enough. Only 25% of the learning happens by listening to the truth from the master. The other 25% happens when we imbibe the truth, do the contemplation or the manana, internalizing of the truth. The third 25% happens when we have the Vakyatasatas, the Vada Prativada, debating about these truths in our life. The fourth and final 25% of this truth happens when we live these principles in our life. Now, we'll just watch a small video here where Swamiji he himself explains about the importance of Vakyatasatas and why we need to have the Vakyatasatas in our day-to-day life.
Listen. Manana. Vakyartha Sadas every day will give you a complete understanding. Not only that, please listen, every time when you keep these spiritual truths in your inner space, analyze them, think about them, contemplate on them, every moment you spend on intra-analyzing these great truths, your incompletions melt down. You are living Advaita. Understand how much ever you struggle to find the solution externally, you will never find. You will never find the solution. What you expect externally, if you think, I'll finish all the work, I took it on myself or Swamiji gave it to me, and then I'll rest in peace. Never. Even after you leave the body, we have work for you. Understand, if you are expecting the external solution, no. You need to be told you are a fool. Wherever you really need to be told you are a fool, you should be told that is the real good thing for you. If you have some disease, you need to be told you have that disease. Only then you will understand the seriousness and start taking medication. Manana, intra-analyzing is really, really, really important. Because the life gets aligned to living Advaita with Manana. Shankara says beautifully, Shrute Shatagunam Vidyan Mananam Mananat Abhinitidyasanam Lakshagunam Anantam Nirvigalpam. The meaning is Manana is 100 times superior to Shravana. Intra-analyzing is 100 times superior to listening, and living is 100 times superior to intra-analyzing. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, living Advaita, is infinitely superior. Please understand, you need to listen and internalize again and again and again. That is why I am insisting on Vakyartha Sadas. Even if there are 2-3 sannyasis in your ashram, start the Vakyartha Sadas. Slowly devotees will start gathering. Everywhere, in every ashram, every center, just like puja is compulsory, Vakyartha Sadas should become compulsory. More and more learning.
Nithyananda, we're back. Swamiji beautifully explained how only through the Vakya Sadas you'll be able to find solutions for your day-to-day problems in your life. No matter how many external factors you try to change, only when you look in and find the answer there, only those solutions will work. No matter how many external situations you may try to change, after some time, you'll find yourself falling back into the same pit. The Vakyata is actually a very beautiful science, which is a practical implementation of the truth, where in Hinduism, logic is not a binary logic. It's multidimensional. For solving external problems, even the simplest solution as cleaning your bowel movement will be able to bring wealth and relationships in your life. Such was the strength of Hinduism. Such were our rishis were so knowledgeable, where they were able to literally identify and find the genesis of how humanity works, how life works, how the cosmos functions. This is a great gift given to us by our masters. Protecting that legacy and making sure that this legacy is there for the future generations is our responsibility. Moving over to the next slide. We have discussed how Swamiji has had all of us, guiding us through each and every step of the Pralaya. How practicing the power manifestation science is a very powerful way to constantly remember and cognize that you and me both are Paramashiva. We have also discussed how we should strengthen our integrity with the Guru, and how the Pralaya through various different ways has distanced the gap between us and the Guru. Yesterday, we had elaborately discussed on how we can reduce the hold Pralaya has on all of us, and how we can come out of our tiredness and boredom towards practicing the spiritual truths and living the powerful cognitions. Ever since on December 14th the Pralaya had ended, we have been doing continuously Vakyas on how we can reduce the effect of Pralaya on our lives, how we can iron out our life and identify the decisions which were taken during Pralaya, and how to prevent ourselves from implementing these decisions in our life. Yesterday night in Satsang, Swamiji had beautifully brought the whole focus now on building the KAILASA nation. Let's go over why the KAILASA nation is so important. Why making it into a reality is not only important for Hindus and Hinduism, but it's important for the survival of the future of the world. Hindus are a minority, either factually or actually. If you are in a nation where factually Hindus are a minority, or in a nation where Hindus are actually minority, either way Hindus are a minority. Hinduism is the third largest religion practiced worldwide, but in not a single country we are actually a majority. We have migrated all over the world, and in each and every country, each and every developed country now, we are living. In either way you see it, be it how we are registered publicly in our ID cards, or how many people go to the temple every day. In each and every country, both are not there. Either in name, we exist in that country as a majority, or in spirit, we exist in that country as a minority. But you do not have a single country where Hindus can call their own, where they are given the complete freedom to practice Hinduism. Now let's look at Hinduism all around the world. Since traveling the world from 2003, after doing thorough research, Swamiji had made the following statements last night. Hindus are the most contributing and loving people. Hindus are the richest ethnic minority in every country they are settled in, responsible for 40% of the world GDP. In the top 25 CEOs around the world, 15 are Hindus. A number of NRI Hindus are in leading government positions around the world. Hindus have the lowest divorce rate. 96% of Hindus These are just some points Swamiji had given in yesterday's satsang of why Hinduism is such a has contributed so much already to the world, and how we are continuing to contribute not just spiritually but economically, financially, socially as well. Be it in any field you take it, spirituality, religion, finance, economy, socially, we are the most contributing religion on the planet. Moving back to the slides. Wherever Hindus settle, we are intense and life positive. This is neither an accident nor coincidence. It is the sincere hard work of our Vedic rishis that make us the happiest and richest people, carrying this in our very genes. Our masters were brilliant, extremely brilliant, where they did not rely on modern systems of transmitting knowledge, be it digitally or be it through the written works and paper and pen, not even through memory. They knew the science and programmed all the science to exist in our very DNA, where no matter what comes, no matter what happens, we are literally made out of this science. So when you are made out of something, how will it be possible for you to become anything else than that? Our Vedic rishis were extremely powerful and brilliant, where to prevent any kind of catastrophe, in the event anything could happen, this science would not be lost. The product and the society which they had created will continue to live through us, through our genes, and through our mental setup. But just because our masters have done such a brilliant job, that does not mean we can go and without protecting it, without acknowledging it, and without preserving this for the future generations, it will only continue to degrade further. Moving on to the next slide. Hinduism is the greatest science of life, absolutely life positive. Fundamentally, Hindus don't believe in conversion and terrorism. The Indian constitution is secular only to Hindus. From Paramashiva to our rishis, who have given the superconscious based lifestyle for all of us, we are responsible to pass this great science over to the next generation. We do not have the right to destroy what our masters have left for us. Making temples is great, but it is not enough. Ecosystem is required for the survival of this great science. 50% of Hindus right now do not take part in any religious activity. With KAILASA being built, the Vedagamas will become the constitution. Dharma Shastras become the jurisprudence, the legal system. Manusmritis, Artha Shastras will be the economic principles. Hindu universities and libraries will become storehouses for this authentic knowledge repositories and transmission units. Yesterday, beautifully, Swamiji was sharing some facts about the Nalanda University, which were uncovered by archaeologists. In that, he had mentioned how from different parts of the world, not just India, from Japan, China, Korea, Persia, Turkey, pretty much everywhere where an advanced civilization had started evolving, all of them had traveled all the way to India, all the way to Nalanda University, just to study. Nalanda University itself had hold more than 10,000 professors and accommodation for even more students. It was equivalent to a university which we would have in the modern day, with dormitories, parks and recreation, ponds and rivers, a huge library. When it was said to burn by the Muslims, it burned for Muslims and British, it burned for 9 months continuously, where days after burning, the smog just continued to hold over the atmosphere. there was a dedicated group just to sit and handwrite all these manuscripts for the sake of scholars to have their individual copies. We were such a dedicated sampradaya towards knowledge and living the truth that knowledge is free. Preservation and promotion of the Hindu medicine, be it culturally, medically, economically, socially, politically, in every field, the Hindu heritage needs to be preserved and needs to be revived, especially what has been lost. Swamiji repeatedly again and again gives the example of Israel and Judaism. How even though all Jews do not live in Israel, all of them know the importance of keeping Israel alive. Because only when Israel is kept alive, Judaism can be preserved and protected. The same way, Hindus need to realize that only if KAILASA is built, only if the KAILASA nation exists, Hinduism will be able to be kept alive. From wherever you may be around the world, contributing and protecting Hinduism, contributing and making the KAILASA nation happen is our responsibility. Whether we live there or not is second. But making the nation happen is a survival need for Hinduism as of today. Given all these facts and truths, given Swamiji's Satsang which he had shared last night, today's Vakya Sadas, we're going to be discussing on how from wherever we are, how can we start contributing and help in building the KAILASA nation and ecosystem. When we are doing the nation building, either digitally or through the legal entities, what are some of the difficulties which are stopping us from doing this and how we can overcome them? And more importantly, how do we make other Hindus also realize the importance of the KAILASA nation? Bringing awareness to the importance of why KAILASA is needed. It is not just to, as Swamiji beautifully said, Hinduism is a greater science. It is not just about religion, it's not just about spirituality. It is about our way of life. As the facts we have presented here, name the field. We are always there on the top. Be it politically, be it in the aspects of business, in the aspects of technology. We are always there sitting at the top. Because it is just 10% of our capability. Hindu brain, the Hindu system is hardwired for greater things in life. Unfortunately, because of continuous religious persecution, continuous of invasions, all the science has been lost. And Hindus themselves have now become ashamed of their own religion. Despite all this, we Hindus continue to strive and excel in the outer world. Even for that purpose, it is important to keep Hinduism alive. It is important to protect Hindus especially, so that they can continue to contribute all the great things that they're doing to the world and leave a legacy behind where the future generation has a place to grow up in the Hindu atmosphere. From domestic families all the way up to government positions, Hindus are the best in every field. It is now our responsibility to start protecting KAILASA, start building KAILASA in whatever way we can, and helping people also understand the importance of this. So before we enter into the Vakya Sadas, let me go ahead and introduce myself and the rest of the panel for today. My name is Sri Nithya Mangalananda Maharaj. I am a Balsandar of Nithyananda Gurukul. I joined the Gurukul back in 2012, and prior to coming here, I myself was an NRI living in the United States. After meeting Swamiji in 2009, I've had a spiritual it's not even spiritual, it's just a deep pull and like a magnet being pulled towards Swamiji for reasons unknown to me even now, I just felt that I need to come to Gurukul and I need to be here with Swamiji. After joining in 2012, I have been here ever since, living, practicing, enjoying Swamiji literally for the past many years. Along with myself, we also have Raja Maharaj, also from joining with me from Adi KAILASA Bridhi. Across the globe, we have devotees joining us as well. We have Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. We have Ranoshan Edmund, both of them joining us from Canada. We also have Achyutamayananda joining us from the United States. And we have Murli Ayya as well, joining us from Chennai, India. I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time off and coming here to the Vakyata Satas, helping people understand the importance of why Kailasa nation is important for all of us, why it's important not just for practicing Hindus, but it's important to preserve and protect the rest of the world as well. So, go ahead and allow everyone to introduce themselves. Pass the mic to Rajananda Maharaj now.
Nithyanandam. Thank you, Maharaj. Of the Nithyananda Gurukul. My fascination with Swamiji has started back in 2006 when I was in USA. That's when I thought that he's the person that I wanted to spend my life with and wanted to be there's nothing else that I wanted. It was simply Swamiji made himself my everything. So I wanted that to be my reality. And it's a transition that I think going forward as we build Kailasa, we need to help other people also see how they can see Swamiji as their everything, and all of us who have connected to Swamiji and come and become part of Kailasa, if we can go back and see how and deconstruct how we also came to be a part of Swamiji, that will do a lot of help in building and connecting everybody to the purpose of Kailasa's nation, because that has been my progress. I have been falling in love more and more with Hinduism as I come to be more and more here with Swamiji and being growing up with him and growing up with his teachings. And I resonate a lot with how and why he's wanting to build this nation, and how the circumstances in the world have come to such that a nation is required for Hinduism. And I've got a little bit about learning a little bit about the Agamas in the background in the for the past 6 years actually. And before that, in USA, I was in the temples, Seattle Temple and LA Temple, and doing the seva and the pujas there. And that's a little bit about me. Anybody else can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So next, I'm going to allow Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam to go ahead and introduce himself. Please go ahead.
Nithyanandam, thank you, Maharaj. Nithyanandam, everyone. Pleasure to be here today. My name is Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Been initiated by Swamiji and blessed with this spiritual name. And I grew up in Canada and became an elementary school teacher and computer engineering technologist. I worked in more than 30 schools with more than 100 teachers in various countries around the world. And I've studied and worked in the education field and with teaching yoga, meditation, and life solutions for the past 20 years. And I found Swamiji on YouTube in 2008, and after studying more than 100 different spiritual teachers and searching for quite a long time, recognized something unique about him and had all the problems of an entire lifetime replaced with thousands of blissful experiences, all from a single being. And so with that, in the last couple of years, Swamiji has enlightened all of us to the state of the spiritual beings living on this planet in the form of humans, and what humans have been creating for the past 2,000 years, and where it's headed, and what the problems of humanity is, and what the solutions are, and the status of Hinduism and its decline under the Hindu Holocaust for the past couple thousand years, and where that's headed, and the condition of the political pressures and various other conditions that lead to the need for Hindus to recognize their responsibility and the need for the spiritual beings on this planet for a spiritual solution. And the proven solution as the only lasting civilization of the past 5,000, 10,000 years, we need to recognize that is real and it exists for a reason, and it's necessary. So each one of us needs to internalize this truth and recognize our opportunity to take responsibility to share that with others as an opportunity. And so this is what an incarnation does, makes the impossible possible. So thank you, everyone. Nithyanandam.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Next we have Murli Ayya joining us from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Please go ahead, Ayya. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is Murli from Chennai. I'm a teacher and a trainer by profile. I've known Swamiji since 2013, and it somehow seems that I've been there with him, with Swamiji, for a very long time. At the same time, it also feels fresh. So it's kind of mixed feeling, and it's nice to be like that. I came to Swamiji in a kind of confused state. I was absolutely directionless. But after coming to Swamiji, I realized many things, many dimensions of life, many dimensions of Hinduism itself. I've been a witness to a lot of miracles personally myself, and also have heard of a lot of miracles. A lot of the teachings are really inspiring. The way he puts things across in such a way that it hits a very large audience is really amazing. And the more and more dimensions he hits across life from a very generic context, so that it hits more and more people, is simply amazing. He does not name any ethnic background, any person or anybody, but still the way he talks things, it is really amazing how Hinduism is all encompassing. So why I am here? I'm here because I enjoy Swamiji, I enjoy his teachings. I feel that his mission has to be reached out to the world, and I want to be a part of it. How exactly, what exactly I will do, maybe I'll try to explain my role, what my thinking is in the course of the others. As of now, let me not occupy any more mic time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayya, for taking the time off and coming here today. Next, we have Ranoshan Edmund from Canada. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Nithyanandam. My name is Ranoshan Edmund, and yes, I'm from Canada. And I got to know Swamiji around 2013. And one thing that I really want to share about this is, one thing that Swamiji has really given me is a very strong clarity. This clarity about actually what is Hinduism. Because before I would have some idea of like, oh, Hinduism means this or that and all these things. But then really after life with Swamiji, really I'm able to see what exactly is Hinduism, how Hinduism is a higher science, and really the impact of Hinduism, and how, as Swamiji is sharing, Hinduism right now, it's not even about now or never, it has to happen now. And so, yeah, it's just like, as we go through the Varkatasas, this is something I'm very eager to share and also listen about what everybody has to share about this thing. But yes, it's one very strong thing that Swamiji shared is the clarity of what is Hinduism. What does it mean to live Hinduism? What does it mean to really do the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, what this whole lifestyle is about. And so, yes, this is just a quick little excerpt about Ranoshan. Nithyanandam.
Thank you so much, Ranoshan, for joining us today. We also have Achyutamayananda joining us from the United States. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Nithyanandam, yes, thank you very much. Nithyanandam to everybody. Yes, my name is Sri Nithya Achyutamayananda. Have been blessed by Swamiji with this name. And I came to Swamiji during Inner Awakening in 2017. And since then, my life has been a complete transformation in all aspects. Before Inner Awakening, I come from an accounting background. I was starting out in my accounting career, and since then, since Inner Awakening, well, actually, my seeking started from before coming to Swamiji, with meditation and vegetarianism, things like that. But after coming to Swamiji, it went to a whole different level where just I ended up living in India with Swamiji in the Bidari ashram, and since then I've come back and I've been being full time in the Houston temple, and so it has been a very quick transformation in coming into and learning learning about Hinduism from me, coming from a non-Hindu background, and it is only expanding more, so we could contribute and enrich more. Yes, Nithyanandam.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. So, coming back to the three questions which we have today for the presented us here for the Vakyat Satas, I wanted to bring our attention to the last question. How do we make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of the Kailasa nation? Swamiji, every day in the Satsang, has been going over the same facts with all of us, reiterating the importance of why Hinduism is important for the world, how it has contributed so much to the world already. And through all the previous satsangs Swamiji has given before, it shows the possibility of how much more Hinduism is capable of contributing. But for this, the Kailasa nation needs to be built, needs to be preserved, needs to be protected. Swamiji is day and night working hard to make this happen. As his disciples, as his devotees, it is our responsibility to make others also understand this importance of why Kailasa is needed. Starting with other Hindus who are not practicing, only namesake, carrying the name of Hinduism just because it's there in the family, but not practicing it in their life. So let's focus on the question, the last question which we have. How do we make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of the Kailasa nation? I'm going to go ahead and let Rajananda Maharaj share his cognitions and thought currents on this. Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. So we just saw in the previous slides figures about how 57% of Hindus are not practicing or don't attend any religious activity. And the interesting thing is, let us do a good job now. And Swamiji has done this in the past about how do you define somebody as a Hindu or a practicing Hindu. People actually are practicing Hinduism without declaring that they are. Those who are doing yoga are taking the benefit of practicing Hinduism according to the one part of it, but they are practicing Hindus as far as they are taking the benefits of it. And they are always finding, people who do practice yoga find that asana is not enough. The asana and just one portion of yoga is driving their seeking to find the other angas of yoga and manifest them. They find that through yoga they need to have dhyana as a part of their life. They find that through yoga they need to have dharana as a part of their life. They find that they need pranayama. They need all these things. So the yoga, even if the asana is there, that one facet is able to open up people to the other parts of the Ashtanga yoga or the Shatanga yoga that people experience. And people are opening up and becoming practicing Hindus that way, and they find so much transformation in their life that way. So those group of people are also practicing Hindus. And then you have people who are like the people who talk about who do active things in the name of Hinduism. For example, if you see the history in America, Hinduism, there are temples there that are, and in Toronto and Canada as well, there are temples there that are around 60 years old. And one of the things that I learned when going to these temples, we had an opportunity once back in 2013 to attend one of the conferences where a group of Hindu temples meet, and got to know the struggles and the difficulties that some of them are facing. So what happened was they established temples there in US as an act of preserving their heritage, and in doing so they have set up a temple. Now it is around 60 years old. So these elderly men, actually, they set up their temple when they were in their late 30s, and now they are around 70 years old. And the same group is actually attending to the services in the temple, and they find that there is no new generation coming to the temple. There is no new people, actually new younger generation to come who are coming to the temple, who are interested in the temple. And of course, after this older generation pass away, who will take on the responsibility of the temple? So they actually came up with the problem that there was no posterity handed over, and that is because I feel this is just what I'm thinking, and this is why Swamiji is not just about preserving; he's also about reviving. And when it comes to preserving, actually, Rajasekara had told that it's that people who want to preserve want to only see that one. I remember that one Vakya. This was a good conversation that Bhagavan talked about how some of the neo-Hindus or who are also potential of becoming practicing Hindus. And as we also came to an understanding in that Vakyartha that there is a neo-Hindu in all of us. There is a person who comes from a small world point of view and tries to look at the whole. So that we had come to that understanding, and Bhagavan had come and given us an understanding that there are those who are wanting to just have Hinduism seen in museums, and it's an ancient thing. That is what it is about, preserving. And Swamiji had pointed out in a satsang that it is actually a bigger poison that the neo-Hindus do than the actual anti-Hindus. But we are, how do we accommodate all these people as Hindus? And that's what our goal is, because they are all fellow Hindus, if they come under that term. So we have Rajasekara pointed out and said one nice thing. He said, the neo-Hindus are like preservatives added to food. They're like, he said that they are the preservatives added to the food to preserve the food so it lasts longer, and the act of preserving the food destroy the food. So that's what he said as an example of what a neo-Hindu is. Actually, in the process of trying to preserve it, they'll make it lose its essence and make it into something else. That's what happens when you create. Becomes only a monument or a museum piece when Hinduism is held like that. We're not about preserving, right? Those who have a depth, actual practicing Hindus, remove the 57%, the actual practicing Hindus, those people will understand the preservation ideology and think, okay, I need what I have benefited from Hinduism. Those people who are grateful for Hinduism, hence they are practicing it. Since they are very grateful for it, so they will want to preserve it, and they have a need for it, and then they will understand, okay, it is important to have Sri KAILASA. But when we were talking to these people in the temples, it was that they only had the idea of preserving. When they came to their country, NRIs, they have as Swamiji said in the satsang, the previous satsang, that the NRIs who go away from Hinduism, they have a more need for Hinduism in their act of deciding to preserve. And that's good. In that way, they have set up infrastructure. They have done tremendous amount of good work in creating temples around the world in different places and countries. But the difficulty that they are facing after 60 years of existing is that nobody is ready to take it on next generation. They did it only out of the sole purpose of having to preserve their heritage and giving it to the next generation. But the next generation is not taking benefit from it and finding that the preservation ideology isn't enough. The next generation is needing more. They need it to actually have a bigger part of their life, not a Sunday ritual that I go to preserve some heritage. They need Hinduism to be a bigger important thing in their life. That is why Swamiji is reviving the tradition, not just saying that it needs to be saved, but it needs to be revived and lived in our daily life every day, day to day. Every moment it has to be lived. And that is something that we need to really help our fellow Hindus understand. That every Sunday, Hinduism is not secular. Hinduism, we cannot separate it. If you are a practicing Hindu, you are going to have to make it a part of your everyday. It cannot be looked on by the separation of church and state. You cannot separate it. That is the first thing you need to give them the understanding. Otherwise, there is no benefit in it. And another angle you can come to is understand that, as we have been discussing in the Vakyartha, that Hinduism needs to be, if Hinduism is saved, the world is saved. We can take this from an example from what Bhagavan Shri Krishna did in Gita, in Mahabharata. He is only there to protect dharma, because he is protecting what is righteous. The world was crumbling and women were mistreated. Greed was coming as into the life. Fear-based work was happening. Krishna was an example and model of saving the world from that. And he has done the work of bringing the dharma back and done a tremendous effort in it. But the world now is also going into a phase of adharma. And Swamiji is doing the incredible work of saying that if Hinduism stands, dharma will stand in the world. Dharma is a bigger thing. People will understand dharma as something bigger than even the Hindu religion. If you see the way that Mahabharata is shown and the conversations that Mahabharata spikes in people, it is not about actual religion or the religious activities. The Mahabharata and the story of Krishna brings a discussion about righteousness, character of man, what is good, what is not good. Those kind of moral things are discussed about, which is bigger than what a religion is. These discussions are important to have with people, and saying that it is in Hinduism that only it preserves that. The religion preserves it. It is in the person who is preserving it. So we need to help people, and then of course there are the people who make fun, those who troll. Actually, Swamiji even considers them as even possible potentials, because we have seen many trolls of Swamiji become devotees of Swamiji. And they are also a possibility because they're paying attention so much. And the way that, and people have that slight in mind, how is he going to create a nation? I mean, that is the word. And if you see KAILASA, use KAILASA on YouTube, the most viewed views are just people figuring out how he is able to do it and trying to say it is a big task or making fun of it. Now, those who do that, how do you talk to them? How do you tell them that it's a real thing? It's not a jig joke, and tell them that it's a big, massive undertaking. They'll actually be quite impressed by it, I think, by the undertaking. So these are just different kinds of categories of fellow Hindus that this question is asking, that we need to approach in a different way for each person. They have a different kind of listening that will get to them. So we can go on and can share about how we can talk to different types of Hindus.
Thank you so much, Rajananda. Thank you so much, Rajananda Maharaj. So go ahead and listen to Murali Ayya and hear his powerful cognitions and his thought currents about this. Please go ahead, Ayya.
Thank you, Maharaj. Why Kailasa? See, Kailasa is meant to be completely Hindu, absolutely Hindu. Means this nation, whatever happens here, in whatever dimension you look at, how you do worship, how you do meditation, how you lead your life, everything, the entire it is meant to be completely Hindu. It's in this means Hinduism in its largest dimension. It is practiced here. So why this sort of thing is needed? Now we always say we Hindus are most tolerant, most peace loving, and all that. Now this has actually been exploited by the anti-Hindu elements to the extent that we don't have anything in the name of blasphemy. Very clearly, these Abrahamic faiths, even when we use their names for talking about them, that itself raises eyebrows and they are just waiting to pounce on us. But we don't seem to react to anything at all. So we need something as a benchmark to decide what is blasphemy even in Hinduism. So only for that very purpose we need this nation. That's a very strong point, I will say. So this is where we begin to assert ourselves. When we live certain values intensely and say that this is what we stand for, this is the way we worship, this is the way we lead our lives, this is the way we look at God, this is the way we consider anything. It is there we can only then benchmark what is blasphemy as far as Hinduism is concerned, and only then we can actually take on a legal stand and make certain people realize what something cannot be tolerated. Why we need the way we are living, we are not harming anyone. But how do we say that? How do we assert that? Because we are all passive. Because we here and there at a random in a random way we people keep saying that we are all tolerant, peace loving, and all that. But only when we are stringent to say that this is blasphemy, we can't take this. We'll have some benchmark to tell people what we expect from the rest of the world. Okay, we are not converting you to our line of faith, our line of belief, or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean you can talk whatever nonsense you want to. Now, for this to manifest, I had said, in whatever little miracles that I had explained, I can tell you that when I say some miracles had happened, it happened at the level of materialization of Vibhuti, and I can hear Swamiji's voice answering my questions during meditation and all that. And this, when I look back, why it happened in those days, I'm able to see that I did it with understanding the meaning of the puja mantra. I was able to realize what I was telling them. Like, this is what Swamiji calls as practicing the presence of God. So when I actually said the mantra, when I said Guru Vandanam, I actually felt that I'm welcoming him. When I say Agyam, I felt that I'm offering him a bouquet. I was conscious of offering him a bouquet. I was conscious of offering him a food, and he is eating in front of me. So with that cognition, with that level of invoking, I did that puja, and that is what caused that miracles to happen at that point of time. So when we realize the meaning of the mantra, when we understand the purpose of our ritual and do it with, and what Swamiji calls as context, you understand the context and purpose of every ritual and meaning. It is then we do it more intensely as it needs to be done. And this is when we are even able to counter the so-called shallow accusations that we are all superstitious. Actually, we are not. And who calls practicing Hindu as superstitious? If you very critically analyze, you will see that those people are ones who think only from the tangible, materialistic plane. So what they are doing in space cannot be understood by somebody who's looking at only the physical actions. So we will be firm in what we are doing, and we will not be swayed by these conversion elements, anti-elements, only when we know why we are doing what we are doing, what is the purpose of what we are doing, and with that intensity even manifest the ultimate benefit which is meant by that. See, when we meditate, one of my very proud atheistic friends who asked me, I had one doubt for very long, for many years. Why you people materialize only Vibhuti, Chandan, Kumkum? What is the purpose of that? Instead of that, why can't you materialize idlis, dosas and pizzas and feed the hungry? This is what he asked me. I told him, see, the purpose is not materializing Vibhuti. The purpose is to reach a certain level of consciousness, and the materializing of the Vibhuti is a way of that supreme consciousness, that supreme power appreciating you, acknowledging you that you have touched that zone, at least as a way of glimpse, even if you're not staying there. And what do you mean idlis, dosas and pizzas, water? We are going to a zone beyond hunger. There are sannyasis in our order who have were completed with the need for food and sleep. And yet, if you go to a clinic and take them and test them, you will find them they're completely healthy. That is because they don't need for any external thing to go inside their system to make them survive. The idea is to go to that level of existence. What will you do with vibhuti? Nothing is going to happen with vibhuti. Vibhuti is just an acknowledgement from the cosmos that you have reached a certain level. This must happen, and this conviction you can say with conviction only when you have actually experienced it. So the existing practicing Hindu who are now batting for Hinduism must actually do the whole thing with intensity and practice. And one more thing in Hinduism I will tell you, see, we are saying we are completely non-violent, life positive and all that. How we are able to say that? Swamiji says it from a universal perspective, but as a layman, as an ordinary mortal, I will put it in a more empathetic terms. We say we are life positive because we don't have any intention to objectify God. We don't have one Godhead from which any good will happen. We say that we are life positive because anything good that happens to you is because of that Supreme. See, when you objectify God, the problem with these Abrahamic faith and those who bat for that, who think that that is very logical religion, must understand that you are actually being counterproductive. When you say that only that force can give you any good, then how do you respond to me? I am not agreeing with your idea, but still I have something good happening in my life. So is that same supreme power manifesting to me also? I don't cognize that. So how do you make me cognize that? That is not there with me. So we Hindus say that anything good, anything life positive will happen through that supreme, whoever that supreme is, whatever that supreme is. When you say that only this can be God, you yourself are admitting that there's another force that is acting here. So it becomes Dvaita, dualism and all that. But that is not happening here. Here we say that there is one supreme force, one supreme intelligence. By whatever dimension you perceive it, by whatever name you call it, is all up to you. But that supreme intelligence is acting everywhere in the cosmos. Everything is oneness. That is what Swamiji calls as Advaita. This is what I understand. I can discuss further later. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much. Nithyanandam, may I audible? Yes. So thank you so much, Murli Ayya, for your sharing. We can go ahead and we can listen to Ranoshan now. Please go ahead, share your cognitions and thought currents with all of us.
Yes, Nithyanandam. So I just wanted to share my cognitions about this question of how do we make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of the Kailasa nation? And actually my sharing is very in tune with what everybody's been sharing so far, is just this platform, having some platform where we can have an open conversation. Having this platform where the listening space can happen. See, no matter what it is, everybody, whenever the platform to speak is there, whenever the listening space, or I could say the platform to speak is there, then naturally the space of listening will happen. Not just in the people, whoever's involved in the platform itself, meaning in this case, the Varkyata Sadas. In this Varkyata Sadas, everybody's actually in the space of listening, including the speaker. This is what makes it Varkyata Sadas. And so having this kind of platform, basically to engage with the open conversation with every sect, from other Hindus to practicing Hindus to non-practicing Hindus to just by using just people using the word Hindus to non-Hindus to basically every party, having this open space, having this open platform where the conversation can happen, actually seeing, okay, where's the problem? Where's the disconnect? What's your cognition? How does this align? How does this align? Like having the open conversation, actually seeing where the truth is. And one click that I have with this, and actually a kind of confidence about this, is when this open conversation starts to happen, actually the necessity for KAILASA as a nation starts to come out. Because then you start to see, actually, okay, this is the powerful cognition I have. This is where the blind spot is. How do we address this blind spot so the powerful cognition can happen? Any kind of Arketa with any kind of person ultimately comes down to when the listening space starts to open up, you start to see the blind spots. It's like shedding a light. You start to see all the dark corners, all the dusty corners, and all these things. So, for example, when talking about global issues, when we're talking about global issues and have the Varkyata Sadas was different political parties, different religious parties, different this, different that, all these things, having an open Varkyata Sadas about this and actually looking in and seeing, okay, where is the state of affairs or where's the global state of affairs right now on the global issues, whether man-made calamities, natural calamities, how do we address these things? And actually seeing, okay, where's the blind spot? What can we attend to? What are we not able to attend to? These kinds of things. And then the things we're not able to attend to, why are we not able to attend to these things? Where's the blind spot in these kinds of things? Why is there these recurrent situations happening? Why are the recurrent man-made situations happening? All these different kind of conversations. And ultimately, the whole thing comes down to each one of these solutions is actually alive in Hinduism. Even this main thing where we're talking about keeping Hinduism alive. See, Hinduism is a hard science. It's a science where the education is directly integrated with the religion, with the worship, with the architecture, with the economy, with the politics, with the research and development methodologies. Everything is completely integrated with one another. The agriculture is integrated with everything else. The architecture is integrated with everything else. The politics of Hinduism are also integrated with everything else in Hinduism. There's no disconnect in anything. And so when we're having some sort of issue in one space, we can actually just look in and see how is another, for example, if there's some issue happening in the other space, looking in and seeing, okay, how is this same issue mapped in another field that I can understand and actually understanding it through there. Always this space of, because everything is interconnected, we're able to see what is actually happening. And so just to come back a little bit is one main click with this is this relationship with the Jiva Ishvara Jagat. See, the whole disconnect I'm seeing, especially with the younger generation Hinduism, is something happened where the relationship with the Jiva Ishvara Jagat, meaning the self, world, and Godel, turned into the relationship between Jiva and Ishvara and Jiva and Jagat. Somehow there was a disconnect. Somehow Jiva and Ishvara and Jiva and Jagat became two different things. And then from there, basically life became one thing, religion became one thing. Life became one thing, the experience of Paramashiva became another thing. Somehow there was a disconnect. And then the questions start being asked, and because there's a disconnect, you start to disassociate life with religion and seeing, okay, where's the other ways, all these things. And then from there, the ripple effect starts to happen. And so the main click with this is especially the KAILASA nation, the whole ecosystem is supporting the space of Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat as one conducive ecosystem. There's no gap. Just as every field in Hinduism, every part of Hinduism is integrated with one another, the Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat are also integrated with one another. Completely integrated. There's no gap. The lifestyle, the experience of self, and the experience of the ultimates are completely integrated with one another. Even if you're like doing your day-to-day job, it's completely integrated with your Paramashivatva, your experience of Paramashivatva experiencing in your own unique way. And you actually feel kind of powerfulness about this. And then the contribution you're able to make becomes multifold because there's this almost like a pride about who you are, knowing you are the ultimate. I'm going to be the best, whatever you're doing, that I am. In everything that you're doing, you're manifesting the space of ultimate when this Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat relationship is very upheld by the ecosystem. And so just to sort of wrap this up is what I feel is the best way to really make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of having this Hindu nation is really just having this space for the open Vakyata Sadas, this open platform where everybody can actually share, speak, see where the blind spots are, where the places that we can attend to are, where the places where we can't attend to are, why we can't attend to certain places, why we can't attend to certain places, having this open conversation and having this open space of the listening space. Because then all the right things start to come out and we actually start to see, okay, where all needs the contribution? Where all can we support one another and live celebrating one another's space, living in the coexistence. So yes, this is just the main thing that I wanted to share today.
Thank you so much, Roshan. Actually, hearing your point where all is required, the only thing which we need to do is provide an open platform for people to get interested and for factual Hindus to become actual Hindus. I want Raja Maharaj to share an incident which happened when he went to Canada and attended the Hindu Youth Conference. You go ahead, Maharaj, and share that.
It is actually the same event that I was talking about earlier, where the temples came together and were discussing about then, and the 60-year-old temple came and told how the next generation didn't want to take on the reins of the temple. So I had met with the youth in that same there's a two conference going on. The youth also came together and were discussing, and I was able to see a variety of youth there as well as being fellow Hindus. One was they were there because somebody made them be there. Many of this youth in Hinduism have the experience. I come to temple because my dad made me. I go to temple because my mom made me. Otherwise, I'll be playing games at home. So that category was there. Then there was the group that are from that are from Toronto who wanted to help everyone have an open conversation. They wanted to provide a secure space for everyone, and wanted to make sure that every individual youth had felt secure enough to open up. Of course, even the effort had to be shown from the leaders' side. So they were the leaders of that conference, and then there was the other youth who are leaders of the temples, or they are taking up some leadership there, and they are facing some of the issues inside the structure of the temple, where they wanted to have more their say in the way the temple should be. And some things that are really a little outrageous for me that they wanted to do, but their activism was, I appreciated it. So there were this conference had like this kind of people, and there's some people. So the leaders, they were adults in the room, and there was a group of teenagers and young adults. And there were teenagers and people in college, you can say like that. So the adults in the room were there, and in an effort to show the younger generation that we want you to open up, we want to give you a lessoning, the leaders had taken the immense hard task of trying to clear the room of all the adults. So one by one, they asked and requested. They said, we will not be able to have this opening up. We request all the adults to please leave. Until everybody, one by one left. In seeing this effort made by the leaders, the other youth immediately saw, now it's a chance for me to open up. So the way that you can help people, even in a open setting, everybody has their own way they open up, and their space where they feel insecure, that they'll not be able to open up. So that was one example of how they had brought a lot of listening from the youth in that situation. But one of the interesting things in that conversation, that when we were addressing the youth an active role in the temple and wanting to take a position, I said to them, actually, it's important that you know that you address to the leaders of your temple that you are the person who is going to take on the reins of the temple in the future. So if you are a youth and you want to, and you appreciate Hinduism has contributed to your life, and you want to take an active role in your temple, then you need to make it assertive to the adults in the room, to the leaders, that the leadership is going to be handed over to you. Hence, that you need to, they need to consider your sentiments as well. But the sentiments, of course, were flawed in that context, because somebody in that room wanted to include Christmas in some of the festivals that they celebrate in the temple. It's not technically there in any agama or ritual, hence I didn't feel that it's important to emphasize that point, because there's so much more to explore inside Hinduism itself. For example, now we are going to celebrate on the 25th of this month, we are going to celebrate Vaikuntha Ekadasi. It is one of the most important festivals for the Vaishnavites of Hinduism. It's called Moksha Ekadasi, the day that people literally have salvation and literally attain almost Sayuja, Narayana Sayuja. And it is the day Bhishma also achieved the Narayana Sayuja, means completely with him in Paramapadam. And they attain his oneness, they attain his space. It is a space above Vaikuntha. So traditionally the temples, all the Vaishnava temples, will have a northern door that is always kept closed throughout the year. On this particular day, that door is opened, and the deity of the temple walks through that door going into the north, and everybody follows behind. It is a significant ritual that symbolizes him taking us to Vaikuntham, Paramapadam, which Swamiji says is the same as space as Paramashanta, Paramashiva, the space of KAILASA, Sri KAILASA itself. So that is an important sentiment, and actually it's interesting to find out in Tirumala Tirupati, there's enough crowd going to that temple such that everything has to be cancelled, because everybody's just trying to go through that Vaikuntha Dwaram. So for if you see their website, you can just see, we've been doing the research, it'll say darshan for VIPs from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then darshan for public from 8 a.m. for 3 days. Literally for 3 days continuously crowd will be going, and that is the tradition that's there. And what we are doing in Sri KAILASA is reviving every single agama where it is, for which Hindu that is. And we are getting ready to do the Vaikuntha Dwara, setting up the whole temple for that actually here. And we're getting all of the open welcome now itself for all the Sri Kailashans here and the panelists and everybody to get involved in how Vaikuntha Dwaram is set up and whole sentiment. And you can also do this sentiment in your home. Walk through and see, take Narayana through it and walk through it. This is living the tradition. In your own home, make the temple, open the Dwaram, decorate one Dwaram with a Toranam, with a flower decoration, with some Chandan, Manjal. You can see the pictures on Google how to decorate. And just walk and take Swamiji is Sarvadeva Devi Surupa. Take Swamiji through there, and then you follow through and have everybody in the house also follow through. And now we are in Paramabodham. This is the ritual. Let us do Aarati to Swamiji and let us celebrate that we are in oneness with him. Just doing this act. Here in temple we will be taking the Utsav Vigraha of Narayana and taking him all in one procession and taking him to the Dwaram, celebrating that oneness. And of course before that we will be getting him ready, getting his deity ready, because we live with deities. We live with deities. That's the reality for us, and that is how we need to promote Hinduism for our fellow Hindus. The deities are a living thing for us. So he is there. In fact, beautiful clicks I had today even. In fact, the next Jayanti Brahmotsavam and third Jayanti Brahmotsavam is Swamiji's birthday celebrations. They are 30 days of continuous activity. It is the biggest Brahmotsavam of our temple. Of the 12 Brahmotsavams, Swamiji's Jayanti Brahmotsavam is the biggest Brahmotsavam. He is a living avatar. Why not? And so the way we are celebrating him this year is in the theme of the Shanmata, reviving how Swamiji has revived the 6 Sampradayas of Hinduism. We are celebrating Swamiji in that light and doing rituals and bringing them out and giving it as an option for everybody to be a part of and to take part of. and all their activities, of course, will be streamed on NTV and on Facebook for everyone to see how Swamiji is deriving those sampradayas. And for me personally, it's a big thing. I honestly, it's the biggest Brahmotsavam that in this size we have almost done actually before. And I just had a thought, like, how will I be able to manage everything? Where are the resources? How will I be able to do it? It's like exam, how the kids will have exam anxiety. I'm also having little anxiety. So then I realized something that I'm missing here. Actually, when it came to me doing any ritual where I thought I'll not be able to make it, something why I miss, I realized always that the deity came in, and the deity was the one actually who held my hand and made it happen. And at the end of the thing, I don't have anything to be afraid of. I know that if I just conquer this anxiety, it'll be worth having to go through everything, because that's the only thing stopping us from celebrating. So in the same way, today morning I thought, when I was doing the Tumatama Seva, I had a beautiful revelation that when I was offering that, we offer that Mangalam Kalparukshaya, Mangalam Jnanadayine, Nityanandeshwaraya Mangalam. Those are the times I just thought, look, you are really there. You have proved many times to me. I have forgotten also many times that you are there. The Nityanandeshwaraya or Paramashiva here and Parashakti. So I've forgotten so many times that you are there. Now, let me at least now remember, yes, you are there. And the thought came into me, okay, you will only take me through this, you will only guide me through this, you are only going to be there. Make it happen through. And it is these tiny sentiments, these tiny thoughts that make such an impact in your life and transform you and make you feel like everything is possible. Anything is possible. And this is the opportunity that Hinduism gives. And to keep this alive and keep this going is something that we can definitely share with our fellow Hindus. This is, as Muralidhar was saying, this is the meaning of it all. This is where the depth comes from. As we are all coming out, this is where it is. And if we give the same understanding to the youth that they are really there, the deities are really there, let us worship them. Let us celebrate their life. Let us celebrate their existence in our life. Again and again reminding that, why do we do rituals? It is not for them. We are not doing any favor for them. We are doing only a reminder to ourselves they are really there. Let us rejoice and remember that. Let us celebrate that and not forget that. That's what I wanted to add. If it has gone somewhere, but this is what I wanted to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So next, let's go ahead and listen to Achyutamayananda, hear his opinions, thought currents, and cognitions about this. Please go ahead.
Yes, Nithyanandam. So, just wanting to repeat again how important it is to keep Hinduism alive and not just preserved, because the benefits, the contributions of Hinduism is having it as a lifestyle, having it as something that is continuously contributing. And if it's preserved, it's almost like putting it away and not being active, not flowing, and it also leads it to die out, or at least not be as strong as it can be. So it is very necessary to keep it alive, because it is so rich and filled with cosmic principles, the cosmic principles that apply to all living beings, to the whole cosmos itself. And in following, or in having this as a lifestyle, it really brings a solution to just about anything. It's a conflict-free lifestyle that we must embrace and keep alive. And so, in regarding what we can do to keep this alive, what seems like is most important is, or the where we can start from is, each individual needs to start within themselves. And this is basically declaring integrity, basically continuously declaring integrity to the master, to the guru. And from this, we can continuously make life positive decisions, have a lifestyle that is continuously getting us closer to manifesting manifesting Sri KAILASA. And in declaring this integrity, another very important thing, each one to be organized. As Swamiji has says, the gods live organized. We must come to organize ourselves. And from this organization, everything becomes efficient. Everything will just flow. Everything will come. Everything will be integrated. It'll be easy for everyone to come and join if we all decide to organize ourselves. It could start from organizing yourself individually, yourself in your house, yourself in even in your own mind, the way you have the thought patterns, and of course getting organized as an organization within your local temple, local sangha, getting communication with the local sangha and see what it is that you can do. There are so many things that can be done regarding the legitimacy of KAILASA, which is all the legalities and creating entities, and also with starting the digital nation with so many things. It's actually it almost seems like it's too much for us to handle, or we need there's so much that everybody could do. So if we're able to also as manifest these through the principle that we are super consciousness, as Swamiji has recently said, have the first principle be super consciousness. And then from this principle, whatever we declare, once we declare our integrity and we're able to realize ourselves as super consciousness, we can come from the space that truly connects us with our authentic, with our highest possibility. And the super consciousness it'll give us the intelligence to know what to do and how to do it, and of course manifest the Sri KAILASA. Yes, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Thank you so much for sharing. Next, Jnanatmananda, please go ahead and share your powerful cognitions, your thoughts about this. What are some ways how we can make other factual Hindus become actual Hindus? Please go ahead.
Nithyananda Maharaj, Nithyananda everyone. Thank you everyone for sharing. It's been excellent. Yes, I completely agree with what Chitamaya said about declaring integrity as the first and natural step that everyone can make. Life is basically a declaration when you recognize the opportunities provided by a living incarnation. So I just would add to that the action of just jumping in, because anything like how to make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of the KAILASA nation. So if you're watching the program and you want a solution, you just declare your integrity to Swamiji, and just jump in and get involved. That will take care of everything. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, we have, we're as Achutamaya also mentioned, various groups are meeting several times per day through many different locations. We also have a group on facebook.com/Sena Nithyananda. You can message there or join there. We're meeting there. And yeah, other than that, for how to make other fellow Hindus realize the importance of the Kailasa nation. So that's the thing is how to make others. So what we, I mean, Kailasa nation is basically consciousness. So instead of consciousness manifesting through humanity in terms of destruction and competition, survival of the fittest, and grabbing what I need for myself so that others don't take it and I get destroyed, which is kind of the fear-based civilizations that humanity manifests when we ignore consciousness. So really what we need to be looking at is that I'm eternal and I can never be destroyed, and so my opportunity is to radiate that to others. So basically, life is an opportunity to give to others. Life is an opportunity to enrich others, to enrich society. So we look at others as an opportunity to share and give and grow, instead of an opportunity of like what I need to protect and what I can take. So if we approach other Hindus in the way of listening, so it's like in the sense of it's not even making, you know, we're not making, it's not even making or forcing, or it's not making other people to do things. That's not, like Swamiji doesn't do that, right? He just constantly enriches and constantly supports in every way, and plans for your future and supports you to get there and tells you the path and shows you what enlightenment is, and then gives you the experience and then tells you how to maintain it, and then makes that happen for you. And then, you know, so he creates every opportunity for you to do all your own growth, but he provides every support and never gives up, even when you do. So that's what consciousness is. So yeah, so the understanding from here is basically approach. I mean, Swamiji has said also, I mean, this is what life is like. If we look at civilizations that have died, then it means that it wasn't life. Like we talk about civilized, like ways of life on earth, but life means life, not death. So life means living, and living is eternal, and living is survival. So Hinduism is not the only living civilization. It's not the only proven solution. It's the only proven way of living. Like it's literally, because any other civilization, that when a civilization grows, if the attitude when it outgrows its britches, to say, when it grows and needs more resources, if its attitude to neighboring civilizations and countries is to destroy them, that's not life. It's actually not life. So Hinduism is not just the only proven living way of living on earth. It's literally the only proven way of life. So that's actually an important concept. So that's what we need to recognize. When we recognize that it's actually a manifestation of existence, then we recognize the need for that. But yeah, generally I just would say approach people in the space of listening and causing their reality. So engage the other people. We need to become activists. We need to become activists, actually. So it's like there's a Hindu Holocaust going on. It's like being on the battlefield. It's like there's a Hindu Holocaust going on where as many as 1 million gurukuls since 1830 have been destroyed. And actually there was a story in the news just this week of $14,000 in gold that was taken by force from a temple during renovations to be deposited into government banks. And so we'll see if that comes back. But so this is an ongoing thing. So there's this war going on of destruction of Hinduism, as was mentioned earlier in the Smekarasaras, that it's not an option. This emergency is not an option. It's something that needs to happen. And so it's like this Holocaust, this war is going on, and Hindus are like maybe reluctant warriors on the battlefield. And it's like the Hindus are, it's like when you're on the battlefield, you can't be crawling as a reluctant warrior. What will happen if you're crawling? You know, if you're dragging yourself on the ground by your fingernails on the battleground, what will happen? So we see what has happened. You can find the Documenting Crimes Against Hinduism Facebook page. You can find the No Conversion tag on Twitter and Facebook. Spend a few moments there and find out. Or you can go to the nithyanandatruth.org page and find out the Holocaust against Swamiji. So those kind of factoids are abundant and are there. But the thing is, how does a Hindu respond? And if we're standing on the battlefield, crawling along, then what's going to happen? So actually, we need to stand up and mobilize ourselves and mobilize others. So when we act from the space of enriching and causing the reality that others want in their life, then they'll see the need, right? Like, who supports you in your life? You know the need for them darn well, right? Like your mother, you know what the need for her was, or may still be. The need for your mother was giving you life. It's very important. So we need to just reach out to Hindus with the listening, caring space. Listening and with the goal, you can share the goal that we want to find common ground between us and how we can contribute to each other's lives. So that's a nonviolent approach to any in any situation. Just approaching from the space of, and even saying, looking to find how we can mutually contribute to each other's space. Find out what the common ground is and how we can make it happen. Find out what you want, what you're doing, how that works with the opportunities that I'm working to provide, how we can make happen what you want to have happen, basically. So this space on an individual level, organizational level. So yeah, it happens through listening. When we listen to people and cause what they want, enrich their lives, they're going to recognize that that's a need and a benefit. So that's one of the understandings.
Thank you so much, Nyanatmananda. Actually, finally, it just boils down to this one thing. Be the first question of how we can start contributing and working from wherever we are. Second question, how we can overcome all the obstacles to making this happen. And the third question, how we can bring others, actual Hindus, to become factual Hindus, and factual Hindus to become actual Hindus. The answer is one. We shedding our reluctantness, stop being reluctant Hindus, and start doing a real job of protecting and preserving Hinduism, actively going out and spreading this message. This is the singular and only answer. Everything else which comes from this is finally based out of this. When this fundamental cognition we all have to become the real warriors Hinduism needs. Naturally, even these other three questions will not even come into existence. As long as we have this new Hindutva idea inside us, how can we start contributing from wherever we are, how to overcome all these obstacles. When our house is on fire, do we care about how should we switch off the fire or how should we save our family? We act out of instinct. We act out of survival need. Fundamentally bringing this understanding into everyone, where KAILASA nation is a survival need now for Hindus. Not just Hindus, but for humanity. It is making that happen is the only way KAILASA can be revived. Not any other way. So with this, we've come to the end of today's Vakyata Sadas. I'd like to sincerely thank all the panelists who have joined with us here today for coming here, contributing towards the growth of the KAILASA nation, voicing out your opinions, letting all the people who are watching us on NTV and on YouTube to sit and contemplate, have their own thoughts about what we've been sharing. Finally, it just boils down to this one thing. shedding the reluctantness and being real warriors. With this, center into the meditation, prepare ourselves for Nitya Satsang. Please sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness into your Ananda Gandha. Visualize Swamiji sitting in your Ananda Gandha as Paramashiva with 25 heads and 50 hands. Now, allowing this mantra to vibrate throughout your entire body, start chanting the Mahavakya Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasannidhanam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.